Hey friends, welcome to day 26 of the Poetry Project. And I actually have decided that this is going to be the last day of the Poetry Project. I think that when I started this, I set out thinking that I would that I would do 30 days as a month and that I would do 30 days in a row, but obviously that hasn't happened. I've taken breaks for weekends and I skipped yesterday. And I have learned some interesting things. There was some really useful value for me in trying this out and sort of forcing myself to do a video every day. Doing it as a reading other people's poetry meant that the pressure was off me to try to come up with some like valuable content each day. And that was really helpful. And I have learned the value of having some structure for these. And I think that I've gotten a little more comfortable in front of the camera, which was actually one of my big goals for this time. But I was sitting downstairs thinking about which poem I wanted to read today and realized that it felt more like a chore than like an interesting project or a fun challenge or a fun activity. And I realized that's not what I want to be doing with my time. I don't need more chores or things that feel like obligations that aren't serving me. I have some thoughts about a subsequent video project. I'm sort of honing those, and I'm not done posting videos, but I think the poetry project has run its course. It's interesting because when I began, I thought, oh, if it's fun, maybe I'll want to go for 100 days or for a year. And now from this perspective, that feels pretty laughable since I'm not even completing the 30 days that I thought I would do when I started. And one of the things that I struggle with in myself is this idea of myself as someone who starts things and doesn't finish them. And there's something about this relationship that I'm having to the poetry project that I'm starting a thing and not finishing it, but I'm deciding not to finish it, and I'm deciding not to finish it because it's not serving me. And I think that that's probably often the reason that I don't finish something that I start. But I have been so accustomed to being in the frame of getting down on myself about it that I have developed a real story about myself as someone who doesn't complete things, or like when the going gets hard that I stop doing it. But I think it might actually be that I stop doing it when the going stops being rewarding. So that seems like a really useful and valuable thing to be trying on about myself, and maybe retelling some of the stories that I have in my head about who I am and how I operate. But of course, I do have a poem to wrap things up, and I think you'll see what makes it particularly relevant for today. You will not be surprised to know that it is a Mary Oliver poem, The Summer Day. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean. The one who has flung herself out of the grass. The one who is eating sugar out of my hand. Who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. Who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and flies away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last, and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Thanks so much for joining me for this project, for this poem today, and for the project as a whole, if you have been following along. I'm excited to unveil my next project when I'm ready to, hopefully next week. And yeah, it's been fun to explore and learn and find what felt good about it and find what didn't feel so good about it and feel it all out. I will see you soon, I hope. If you want to see what's up next, I hope you'll subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much.